Black people were not the only ones discriminated against in America. I know they'd like you to believe that they were, but they're not, right? I, as an Italian American, when Italians came over here, we were heavily discriminated against. We were shoved into ghettos. We weren't allowed to work certain jobs. We were looked down upon because of where we came from, right? The Irish, they came over as indentured servants. It didn't matter how much they worked because guess what? They weren't going to see that money anyway. So how exactly were they supposed to build generational wealth? Each and every single one of those groups was able to figure it out because we put an emphasis on things like education, family, community, making a better life for ourselves rather than just sitting there and crying about the cards that we were dealt.
Right. Been a rise and uptick in content creators from the right to disprove Black history, disprove the Black story, disprove the Black narrative, and be anti-Black. Black people have never said that we were the only people to be discriminated against. So why is that your argument? When Black people say you will never understand the Black experience and no one else in America is treated like Black people, that's true. We have a different relationship with this country because we are descendants of slaves. America is a country founded on racism. Racism is a hierarchy, literally, which puts white people here and Black people on the bottom. Over the course of centuries that America was formulating its laws, its constitution, it eliminated Black people, and specific verbiage was put in to laws, as well as thousands of laws written specifically to keep Black people oppressed, specifically to remove Black people, and specifically to keep us oppressed and segregated. So no, we're not saying we're the only people oppressed, but we are the ones that have a very unique relationship with this country. The same way that Native Americans have a different experience with this country than you as a white immigrant, because they experience the Great Dying, where over 60 million natives from Canada down to Argentina were eradicated by the arrival of Europeans. So no, not put Black people's discrimination on par with Italian people's discrimination in the same way you Black people cannot have the same experience of America that natives could have. You understand how that works? Because we live in a nuanced, multifaceted country that is more than one specific group. But let's look at some facts. The first slave arrived to America in 1619. Mass Italian migration started in 1824 and ended around 1930. That is over 300 years of Black people being enslaved, raped, killed, beaten to death, put in breeding farms. The list goes on. While Italian Americans did experience some discrimination, while some Italian Americans were lynched in Louisiana, you guys largely and wholly got absorbed into whiteness because it benefited America to have all of the ethnic whites, as you were considered, become white. To insinuate that Black people and the Black community have issues that we don't fix, like education and community, we literally have a network of HBCUs, which are some of the biggest and most funded schools in America. I don't see any Italian American schools because you didn't need to, once again, because you were white. We were not allowed to attend colleges or universities with white people because our experience in America is nothing like yours. Every time we had a financial town, a financial center, an own thing, they would burn it down. When your grandfather went to war and came back and got the GI Bill, my grandfather was not allowed to get free housing, was not allowed to get education, and was not allowed to get healthcare because guess what? Black bodies were good enough to go die in the war, but Black bodies didn't receive any benefits of the GI Bill when we got back from the war, and my grandparents still bought a fucking house. So take whatever right-wing MAGA approach you're doing because you hate Black people to get views. Nobody gives a fuck about your page or your account, but stop being a fucking idiot. The right-wing grift will be the death of you guys because not only is everything you're talking about nonsensical, you just look dumb.